even know if we're live. Hello, everyone. It's Claire here with the incredible, the beautiful, close to perfect Tom.
That is not helpful.
Okay. Tom Fortsmayer. Oh, this is going to be a fun one tonight. We have had discussions. I thought of this a little while ago, and I've noticed, if anyone notices my journey, I've been very curious and interested in this whole spirituality. I don't really know about the word spirituality, like ancient wisdom or ancient practice or just certain things that people do. And I've noticed more recently people kind of using particular terms that are really interesting. And then I talk to people, it's like that actually ruins this idea or this concept, and it ruins the opportunity for people to explore these modalities, right? So I wanted to have a conversation about that tonight, Tom. So, with everyone just jumping on, if you are jumping on, please do say hello. Would love you to join in. What are your first thoughts when you see the headline of this? Would you agree? Because I'm very interested in having people explore these modalities and look into some of these practices, and there's a whole lot of events coming up. Yet I feel at times people really ruin it. And I just want to call that out and talk about it, really.
Yeah. So for the purpose of the people who are listening to this on the podcast, what give them the title? What is the headline?
Oh, so the title and the headline is "What Ruins the Sacred Practice of Spirituality or Ancient Wisdom?" Ancient wisdom. What ruins the work of spirituality? When it is used as an excuse for unworkable behaviour, when we are guided to take no accountability. I've experienced this myself recently, and I'm like, I got to call this out. If anyone's watching, if you know what I'm talking about, or if you have any questions, please do join in. I've come across people, I don't like labeling people, but in the sense of people that feel connected to something bigger, maybe, so Chris is there, like, define spirituality. Someone's connected to something bigger, sometimes people will be like, oh, I'm just like feeling into this, and just like, oh, I just really want to see what's coming up for me right now. And then something might come like that. People, I guess it's like going internal, connecting to source, calling themselves spiritual, maybe even talking about higher consciousnesses and higher self. That's what I'm talking about as spirituality, not religion in this sense. Is that what you would call it, Tom? I just don't know the right word for it.
Yeah, well, all semantics are going to fall short for, different people have different take on. But I think what you're talking about, people are trying to be more conscious, who then get a bunch of kind of inner kind of technology, right? Different ways to think, different ways to feel, different ways to feel into what we're feeling, and all in principle, some really cool stuff about being more conscious about what we're doing, what we're saying, how we're behaving. And the impact we're having on others. And yet, for lots of people, what I have seen is their spirituality becomes a free pass for whatever the fuck they want to do. Right? It just becomes it's a backdoor to an egoic, the world is an emotional playground in which I get to just wazz off on my excitement around wild and wondrous experiences in the name of freedom. But actually, without any sense of accountability, without any sense of interdependence, or interbeing, and it's just, people aren't necessarily looking at the shadows. People aren't necessarily really exploring, how free their choice is and how much of it's being motivated actually by trauma or an unwillingness to commit. It's like I have some friends that they're like so free and spiritual that they can't make an appointment. They will only allow me to pencil in possibilities on the basis they don't know which way the wind is going to blow on that day. you know, and it's like of the 5 things we'll pencil in, 1 will happen. And they see that as freedom. I don't see that as freedom. I see that as a Herculean waste of my time, you know. And it's like, how am I able to be free within those kind of parameters? And it's just like, I understand the value and beauty of being available to the spontaneous moment and not having control and not having certainty. But it's also, you know, it's like when we're within parameters of obstruction, it's not like spirit can't work through parameters of obstruction. And some people are so terrified of their spirituality being hampered in any way that they think spirituality will stop working if they've got to be somewhere at Friday at 4 o'clock, you know. And it's
interesting.
Like, you know, it's like, well, how, you know, if you believe in spirit, why would you believe that being tethered is even real, right? It's like, you know, systems are complex and interconnected, and you know, and so many people are actually resistant to the complexity of commitment. And actually saying, I'll be there at 4 o'clock, you know, on Friday, and actually wedding in. I can't tell you the amount of people I've tried to help who are always going on another course, always not really, like, you know, pulling the trigger, you know. They kind of want to have a blog, they write 3 posts and they don't write anymore. They do, you know, they're teetering on the edge of awesomeness and they don't want to dive in. And it's interesting to me because one of the main areas where people are not doing the work that enables them to be truly free is around their relationship to mortality. It's around their relationship to death. Because actually loads of people kind of have this feeling, like, if I jump in, if I sign up, if I put myself out there, if I actually tread onto the treadmill of life, if I choose to step into the yes of I'm on a fucking journey, I'm on that treadmill, I'm on that thing, it ultimately is like saying, yes, I'm up for dying, I'm in, and I'm ready to be sacrificed. I'm like, I'm in, I'm committed. Eat me up, use me, make me the vessel, devour me, turn me into the lunch of worms. I'm ready, I'm all in. But people are actually commitment phobic, and they're using their spirituality to hide that shit and the misery that they're experiencing by not truly expressing their gifts and being fully connected to the flow of life, including death. They have a whole bunch of addicted bullshit, which is all wrapped up in spiritual, like perfumery.
I love what's happened to you tonight. Like some truth bombs right there, I think. It's great. It's really great. And anyone who is watching, I would love to hear your thoughts on what Tom just said. Like, this is an open discussion. This is about engagement for those jumping on. Rihanna, Julie, Moonrose, Simone, hello, Doug, Elizabeth, anyone else who is watching, please do. We'd love to hear your comments on this. Because what we're really doing is exploring this topic, right? And as Tom just said, you know, are people just, is the commitment phobic nature potentially, we're going to just assert, is the commitment phobic nature of some people that may identify themselves as being spiritual, that's one way of putting it, or connected to spirit, or source, or whatever it is, and being guided by something bigger. Actually, you know, something I consider is it that I'm actually don't know how to commit. I don't know how to put myself out there. I don't know how to put myself and in the middle of something like a loaded gun. I have no idea what's going to happen. So when I screw it up and I don't get it right, I'm just going to say, I was just guided to put it on this date and break my word and actually just kill off our plans. And despite being committed to you, I was just guided to do that, which is really not being accountable for. I screwed up and I get it's impacted you. You know, and why is it? It's interesting, you know, someone just said this, finding balance between the ego and soul. Teeter too far on either side and disconnection and dysfunction shall follow. Yeah. I think, you know, someone I've come from a professional background, been in corporate for 18 years, very scientific minded, structurally minded. Some people who've done certain modalities call me a level 4 in the whatever that means. I've never even done that stuff.
That's a long way to go.
Oh yeah, I know. Anyway,
how many levels are there?
I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8. I don't know, but it's effectively. I like structures. I like guide rails. I like that, right? And science. I'm very science based, very research based, and so what I can see is that I needed to loosen up and get flexible around everything needing to be quite black and white, needing information. I used to diminish people who had some sort of connection to source. I used to call it fluffy. But what I could see is that that was my way of bypassing my own self-love. If I could keep myself safe in guardrails, in black and white, sort of diminish anything that didn't fit in my box, it was a way of bypassing my own accountability to myself. And then I noticed, on this other spectrum, and it's pretty much what this person has said, whoever that was, is that on the other spectrum, I don't understand these rules, guardrails. I feel quite constrained, and I feel quite, trapped inside of the idea of committing. So what I will now do is kind of blame everything on spirit, everything on spirituality. I will bypass the need for any accountability whatsoever, because all I need to do is go, I was guided to do this, which is exactly the same thing, just on another end of the spectrum. I need to be safe. I need lots of rules. I need to be safe. I need someone else to be accountable. That's just the way I see it. I'd be interested to see what you thought.
Yeah, I think, for me, because free will is a big deal, right? People get very attached to free will, and in so many ways we don't have a free will, right? Not as a separate individual, but our ability to align with that which is being called for, which is ultimately the spiritual response, to be in the spontaneous, free, unconditioned, beyond identity moment, and to feel into what's being called for. That principle I totally agree with, right? And that does make it slightly difficult to have some structure. But what I've seen, I've got running 3 businesses. I've got 4 kids. It's like I've got places I have to be, non-negotiable, and spirit flows through my obstructions, right? So freedom is not about not having constraints, and it's not about not having places you have to be at specific times, right? It's not about a justification of being flaky. And at the same time, in each moment, it's recognizing I'm not making all my own decisions, and I'm trying to feel into what's being called for the greater good, including my self-loving individualistic boundaries where possible. But also, there is this feeling into what's being called for, right? I believe in that, and I agree with that. It's just a lot of people just use that in a completely bullshit way just to do what the fuck they want. They're going in and going, what do I want, And it's like, does spirit and the divine will move through our own personal wants, wishes, and desires? Yeah, but so does fear. And fear is egocentric and is, and pollutes the flow of that beautiful freedom, and it's like, how are people objectively recognizing when are they just contracted in fear and terrified of being committed and just actually not looking at their stinky shit,
That's right. Oh, that is so
and just,
true.
and just, lighting another joss stick and going on another workshop and not, taking action towards being the greatest expression of their most beautiful selves,
Yeah. I'm gonna do a little satire right now. Okay. Hello, Andrea Marie. That's not actually her name. It's the old, I'll use my first and middle name so no one finds me. Like Jess Claire. Yes. I've got a crystal, this red crystal here.
Pink, right?
Pink. Yes, it's pink. It's actually pink. I've got sage. I've got my sage here. So, here's what I'm saying is ruining the sacredness of spirituality. I'd be very interested in see what anyone has to say to this. It's like, I actually do this for me because I've found that there's a lot of power and empowerment. I don't even know if it's even true or real, but I've found a lot of empowerment in lighting sage in between my calls. You know, when I have clients and in between my calls, I feel it clears something for me. Have I made that up? Maybe, but it empowers me. Now, everyone that walks around me, I don't need to sage them. I don't need people to know how spiritual and how connected I am to source by making sure that every time someone comes near me, I give them some sage. I don't need to throw rose quartz at people so that they get love. You know, it's like this is what I'm saying ruins the sacred nature, or this practice of spirituality is actually taking it away from, this is a personal thing. This is like personal. This is what empowers you. When other people are involved, you can't blame personal experience on why you didn't do something.
So you reminded me of something which is analogous to what you're saying. Hey, Sally, love, nice to see you there. Yeah, I'm properly fired up today. So when I was younger, you heard of Tom Waits? You're familiar with Tom Waits' music?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
He's had the most amazing acting careers, these weird cameos, but he's just got this incredible gruff voice, right? I love his music. But when I was younger, I knew there was something slightly wrong about the fact that it wasn't that I just loved his music. I wanted to be heard listening to it. I wanted to be seen listening to it. You know, my identity was wrapped up with being someone that listened to Tom Waits, because in many ways he was a crap singer and he wasn't that musical, right? But he had this coolness about him that made me cool, you know, listening to it. I noticed there was certain music that, there are books you want to be caught reading, you know, and it's like, and so many people wear their spirituality in their outfit, in their costume, in their jewelry, in their way of being. And for me, it's like whatever rituals you use are about moving you towards transcending your personal identity, whatever you need personally to help you let go of any identity that limits you in your choices. And it's like, if you want to be seen in a specific identity, then it's highly likely that is actually preventing you from being free in the moment to respond to what's being called for. And so it's
that is so interesting. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
So whenever you can, it's interesting to me how, when I travel to India, my clothes might change, and that's partly because it's hot, and it's partly because I'm wearing clothes that fit in that environment. I want to be seen in a certain way. And it's like, I've noticed how that's moved over the years, and it's like how my clothes, it's like, I like to look nice. I like to look well turned out, I like to look crisp and sharp, and it's nice to be attractive. And it's like, but how much am I trying to establish my identity? And same with tattoos as well. It's like, how am I feeling I'm self-expressed, or what do I want to actually paint on my body to heighten your sense of my identity? Like, for me, it's like, it really, the freedom comes from transcending this limited idea of us being anything in particular. And when people are really, really entrenched in themselves as a spiritual person, and they're using a whole bunch of techniques to just give them the choice to just be selfish, and just do what the ever hell they want. I'm fine with that. I was a hedonist for years. I was really open and honest about the fact I was here to do what the fuck I wanted and try not to hurt as many people as possible. Try and be as nice as possible. But I was on earth. I saw no point in anything, no purpose other than enjoy your senses, right? And I had a lot of fun. I was so honest about that. And I see so many people are just spiritual hedonists, but it's wrapped up in this kind of spiritual identity where there's something more worthy or conscious going on. And it's just another back door to their own, selfish egotism, which is fine. But it's like, it just seems less authentic.
Well, it's all inauthentic, really, isn't it? It's all not really. That word inauthentic is a bit weird. It's all not really true to who we really are, in my view, at least. It's interesting that you say, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys do think about this. So, there's a shadow and light in everything, spirituality included. What are our practices and beliefs feeding? Spiritual hierarchy is alive and well in places. So yeah, I think that's a good point. It's like if there's something that I've really gotten quite experientially for myself, and this is also another topic I was almost going to raise with you tonight. I was like, what are we going to talk about? I want to talk about right, wrong, good, bad.
Sweet.
Let's do it. Well, maybe we can go there. Who knows? We can. What ruins it, right? What ruins it? It kind of is related, but it's like, yeah. Andrew is like, Sally's like, it's just unconsciousness. Andrew's like, my woo woo is better than yours, right? So true, right? But it's like wrapped up in this whole, like anywhere there's hierarchy. Anywhere that there's like, I'm really spiritual and I need to prove it, is this sense of better, right. And it's like looking more superior, doing it the right way, being the best, ego.
Mm-hmm. Everything we're talking about here.
Yeah, competition, comparison. It's actually, it doesn't really matter if you're, level 4, science-based, and you think you're better than people. I sometimes talk to people in the professional world and they're like, what's wrong with kids these days? Everyone is got some sort of, superior stance on the way things should be. At some level right now, even what we're talking about is, we teeter on having a superior stance to something, right?
All the time. I practice it.
Yeah. That's right, particularly tonight. It's like there's this, I call it, one of our superpowers is our fire. And it's our raw, which is right before the complete compassion, the complete like acceptance, unity, inclusion of everything that is. And it's like this raw brings out all of these parts that really are just what it is to be human, which is superiority, always thinking what we think is better. If not, takes us to dark places and we think we're not good enough. Comparison, competing, looking for what's right, looking for what's wrong, looking for what's good, looking for what's bad. We're constantly in this, I guess it's like a wheel of this experience.
Well, that's the mind for sure. That is the experience of, of what mind does and how mind creeps into all of our practices,
It just expresses itself in spiritual ways or in, this is the wisdom. It gets expressed over here and it gets expressed over there.
Well, it's as soon as it's in judgment, then it informs our identity as a separate entity. And we want, therefore, our separate entity to be seen as positive. Therefore, we have more bangles, we have a bigger sage, it's like,
my sage is bigger than yours.
I'm just the sages. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but Palo Santo, when it first turned up, was these really small little twigs, right? Now, I mean, like literally people are burning Palo Santo fucking logs, it's like, how fucking big is your Palo Santo? I get it. It's hard to lift because you're that spiritual. You've actually developed your body. Your yoga has improved because you're lifting your fucking Palo Santo. It's like, it's insane. It's the whole thing. It's just like, it's like, and it's not like that's not in me. I'm so tempted to just get lots of purple robes and have a kind of halo fashioned behind me. And part of me wants to be seen as being advanced. Maybe I should wear more jewelry that implies, maybe I need more piercings to imply that I have really gone there and done the work with the spirit lords. It's like, I don't know. It's tempting. I feel tempted. It's like, maybe, there's this dude I saw recently. He like wears these crazy African robes. He has this kind of like temple set up behind him. He's like 9,000 people coming on his guided meditations. And he's like crazy, like overtly spiritual. People are lapping it up. They're paying like £10 for one of his sessions with 9,000 people on his meditations. It's like, it's insane, right? And wow. People want their spiritual teachers to appear special. That's the big fucking problem. It's like people want to find the special teacher. It's like there is no special teacher. There's some fucking special techniques and there's some really special ways of thinking that can change how you feel. But it's like there are no special teachers. Everyone's fucking mad. And the best teachers are the ones who know how mad they are and they just full of compassion that everyone else is mad.
I can't be fucked with it anymore. Oh, it's so good. So what you're saying, Tom, is my spiritual cock is not bigger than yours.
I'm saying all spiritual cocks are the same, but we want our spiritual cocks to be bigger. I want my spiritual yoni to be a bit tighter, actually. But it's been a long journey. It's seen a lot of spiritual cocks. So it's a little bit more relaxed than I want it to be.
It is so, oh my God. Oh, that made me laugh so much. We were talking about that. For those that don't know, in some of the modalities and spiritual modalities and some of the practices, and they're beautiful practices, like I'm being funny right now, beautiful practices where you connect to, men have a spirit womb and a spirit yoni, and it's really connecting to some of the creation forces. And it's beautiful practice, right? And then, women also can have a spirit cock. Well, they don't call it a spirit cock. I think maybe they do. I don't know. I've called it that. And that's actually connecting to your inner masculine, divine masculine. But again, you take it as a part of your identity. If you're in your own superiority, you think yours is bigger. And it's like anything. You can take these beautiful practices and you can absolutely have the ego take over the practice and destroy, what did we call it? It actually destroy the beauty in the technique, as you call it.
Yeah. But I think the biggest challenge is that because a lot of teachers use this to enhance their identity as a teacher, right? Therefore, the students use it to enhance their experience themselves as a personal entity. That's the problem. It's like all spiritual practices are about moving from our small, limited, fearful personality and connecting to our unlimited, loving universality. It's whatever we need to remember that we're not our name, we're not our body, we're not our age, we're not our gender. We're a mixture of conditioned ideas and ideologies, and we're way beyond all of that. We're 14 billion years old, and we're not defined by these cultural, social, economic, fucking political nonsenses. And then people just swap that for all of the spiritual ideologies that they're using to get away from their conditioned reality, and then they're just conditioning themselves into a new identity as a spiritual entity. It's like your spirituality is about realizing that you're not anything. You're nothing being everything. And it's like, and in that, you're all things, and everyone's your brother, and everyone's your sister, and no one is separate, and no one is superior. And we're all mad, and we're all working hard beautifully to become less mad. And it's going to take ages. And there's nowhere to get anyway in the meantime, because it's all perfect, And it's just like, if your spirituality isn't making you breathe a sigh of relief and fucking love everybody, then what's the point? And I know I might seem a bit angry about it today, but I am. I'm slightly love weary, because it's just like I see so many people, myself included, running around on that idea that there's something that's being improved here. And as soon as we think that, then we need to see our improvement in relationship to others, and that's a backdoor to the very judgment that holds in place the very part of us that we're trying to transcend, the part that will point fingers, the part that will make judgments, and it's just like, the whole point is to put the fingers away, and to open our hearts. And it's like, as soon as we think there's somewhere to get or that we're improving, it's like everything is about remembering that we're already just lovable, and that everyone's lovable. They're just pretending not to be lovable, quite convincingly, some of them, but they're ultimately lovable and just deserve a big fucking cuddle. We can all just lie down and relax a little bit.
I almost don't want to say anything because that was really beautiful. And this is what I mean about the power of that raw. Like, I know you're like, you got the fire behind your words tonight, but what you're saying is really potent. There's nowhere to get. Right now is all there is. Like, right now, anyone watching this is it. Here we are. It's Jess Clare, Tom Fortsmayer. There's Christy. There's Deb. There's Karina. There's Sally. There's Andrea. You guys are here with us right now, and this moment is all that there is right now. Because no, we're not getting any better. We're as good as we ever get right in this moment. And we wouldn't want to be any different because the way we are is just perfect. There's no hamster wheel to be on. Everything, the way that it is in life, and all of it is happening right now. And we are everything and nothing all at the same time.
I think you should sit back, put your feet up, light that big sage, have a good smoke on it. It's like a big fat spiritual cigar.
That's right. Let's put that
Too right, darling. You know?
It is. And it's you know, I loved what you said before about, you know, and I want that too. I remember I walked into this retreat once and I was wearing shoes and everyone else had no shoes on. And I was like, why isn't anyone wearing shoes? And then everyone was like, okay, let's drop in. And I was like, what's dropping in? And then they made sighs. And they were like, okay, everyone just, you know, drop in. Ah, like loud noises. And, you know, I didn't really know what was going on and whatever. But as I got connected to this beauty in some of these ancient practices and this ancient wisdom, as I got connected to my own self and what was possible, as I experienced I have my own cacao ceremony every morning, as I go through all of this, right? I do want to kind of express it somehow. You know, I do want people to walk in and as they walk in go, hey, how you doing? You know, I do have this crystal on because I like it. It represents something to me. It's amethyst, and I kind of want people to see it. And so I get exactly what you mean. There's this part of me that wants it expressed, but at the same time, if I'm attached to it being who I am and having to kind of like, you know, use it, then I lose the potency and the magic of what it really represents to me.
I agree. That's a beautiful way of putting it. You know, so for me, for a long period of time, you know, before I had my kind of spiritual awakening, I was like a crazy club promoting nut job, you know, driving around on massive chopper motorbikes, dreadlocks and like massive oversized silver jewelry, which seems to be what you have to wear, you know, if you're a club promoter, you know. And then I got into spirituality, and then I got into spiritual jewelry, you know, and spiritual clothes, you know. And I enjoyed that change of identity, and I needed it for a while. And then, you know, I really started to see how these things were trapping me in a conditioned way of relating to myself as a separate entity. And then, you know, became way more neutral. But at the same time, it's like I enjoy spicing my food and flavoring my food. I enjoy tending to my garden so that it looks beautiful. There's nothing wrong with making yourself beautiful in ways that are aesthetically pleasing to you. And that can include your spirituality, you know. That can represent them, but that's an expression of spirit moving through you, right? But it's like, could you be seen on the street without that stuff, right? You know, how much do we require that to be comfortable if in communication with other people? I mean, I don't know, have you ever noticed when you've ever done an omming kind of thing where they're toning an om together in group, you know, and then that thing turns up where, I don't know if you do this, but I certainly do this sometimes. I want to om for the longest. I want to be the voice that people can hear for longer because I can om longer, you know, and then you can feel, you know, and it's like, really, am I that fucking mad? The universal sound of peace, and my ego's like, I'm gonna for longer than that guy next to me, you know. It's like my spiritual cock is measured by how long I can fucking for in a circle. It's like, we're fucking mad. It's like the ego will co-opt, and it's like we have to begin with the recognition that our ego will co-opt our practices. It has to be our first awareness with love and a sense of humor, you know. And it's like, and it's like, how does it do, and how does it co-opt it, you know?
It's so funny you say that, because I did 6 years of transformational leadership training, and we did it over in Thailand as well, and there were monks, Buddhist monks, and all they do is meditate all day, right? And then they did some of this
lazy.
Yeah, well, they did some of this leadership training with us. And they came in and they started distinguishing their complaints. And do you know what they found out? So all they're doing is meditating all day, right? All they're doing is connecting to source, and they're in there doing that all day. And then one would go up to the front and go, it's really funny. I'm trying to meditate better than him.
And I'm glad they've been doing it and they're still doing it. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's like, and the other would go, I think if I'm, at least 10 minutes longer than the last person in the ashram, then I'm a better, more enlightened monk.
Fuck.
They start confessing this stuff.
We've got no chance.
You really don't.
No.
Right?
That's how we should start, right? We've got no chance, right? It's going to be co-opting it the whole time. So therefore, it's like we should just have a really big sense of humor about that madness, and catch ourselves in that. That's why community and is so valuable, because that really community should just literally be, spiritual community should be a comedy club. Because it's just like, wow, I am fucking hilarious how much I'm trying to compete by being non-competitive. It's like, have you seen how flat hierarchy models, like they're racing to be a flat hierarchy? It's like, how low can you lie on the floor? It's like the ultimate it's spiritual limbo. It's like, we don't, and it's like death by fucking committee. It's like, can someone make a fucking decision? It's just like, so afraid of autocratic autonomy that we're going to just democratize ourselves into absolute lack of agency, and it's just like, every which way we have to know that all of our spiritual practices have a shadow, every single one, and we will bring our ego to all of our practices, and our ego is just trying to survive. It's a beautiful thing, and it knows that it's good because it can make comparisons to others, and therefore it's really difficult to be in spiritual community without being a twat. So we should start knowing that we're a twat, and then lovingly not hold to that narrative, not hold to that identity. And it's only the practices that enable us to really remember that we're not this separate entity that's afraid, that we can have half a chance to have a sense of humor about this operating system that we will always see life through.
Absolutely. And God, we could have so much fun making fun of this and playing with it. Because let's be real, some of the stuff that people say in the spiritual community sounds fucking nuts. And it's real.
Yeah. You've seen the JP Sears stuff, right? Where he translating.
I love him for that reason.
Of course.
Because he's so funny. He's like, being spiritual or being someone that's connected to source or has these spiritual practices. I mean, one of my best friends, sitting in a car and she burps and goes, is that an energetic burp or is that a burp? And I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, have I got hooks in my back? I'm like, now this is a real connected experience. There's absolutely things that are happening that are really, but you can have so much fun with this. You can really play with that.
I think as a kind of guiding principle, what I've seen to be true and what I see, and this may well piss off a lot of people. So fuck it. But for me, in everything that I've studied, the only thing that actually gives us the foundation to actually feel more freedom and feel more love and feel more peace is really understanding the interconnected nature of reality and the fact that we are all one. That to me is the primary freedom tool. That is the ultimate balancer. It's the equalizer. It's the home of equanimity. And it really is the foundation of unconditional love. And that is the only thing I'm really interested in. Not because I haven't explored other models, but for me, the only thing that enables us to experience that unconditional love for ourselves and others is to see ourselves truly as the same, of the same substance, right? Which subatomic physics is kind of proven, right? But what happens is the ego lives in the world of duality. It lives in the world of judgment. It lives in I'm here, you're there. It lives in good and bad. But what I see consistently in answer to the questions that you put as the heading of this is it's like, how does duality come into your spirituality? How do you think that there's someone out there that will give you something, that will give you what you want? How is there is there something? Are you improving yourself? Are you going from A to B? Is there a destination? Is there a state to get to? Is there toes to touch in yoga? Is there meditative states to access? Is there codes to download? As soon as you're thinking that your freedom is somehow something that is external to you, then you're in the world of duality, you're in the world of egotism, and you are in the samsaric circle of suffering. And it's like, and it's rife in the very arena that people entered into to experience more freedom. All that thinking, and it's perpetuated by teachers who place themselves on that little plinth stage, that little bit higher, and the whole thing is, I've got something to give you, and it's like we're all here in remembrance. And yes, there are some really beautiful techniques that is lovely to share with people from a position of equanimity and equality that you might find useful and interesting as a tool of remembrance and reconnection, so that you can re-experience yourself as what you always are, always have been, the unchangeable, the timeless, the essence of all. And when I first began this, I really liked the idea of calling my model reconnection psychology, because it's all about reconnecting people to that state. But I just realized that name is the problem. It's like you can't sever the connection. There's nowhere to go. It's never gone. It's only our perception. Our connection is unseverable. There's nothing that cannot be part of that. And it's like our spirituality is ideally inviting us to re-realize that once again. And so much in the world of spirituality informs and conforms to idea of dualistic thinking, which is the very home center point of the initial problem.
Yeah. Wow. As someone just said, boom, a lot of what you just said then was really, really, really important truths, I think. As you were saying it, I was just thinking about so many things, particularly what it really, people like to talk about unconditional love, right? And you're right, I think what this is really is always there is this sense of love, and I definitely agree with you. And then some people call that really connecting to the divine and unity consciousness, and I call it inclusion, or we call different words for it, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately we have barriers to this, but what this looks like, and I think you've said this to me before, I've used this before, is that you have to forget to remember that. So it looks like day to day is stuffing up.
Yeah.
Is being egotistical.
Yes.
And I think the greatest and highest level of authenticity is the ownership of your own egotism, not pretending you don't have it.
That's the spiritual teachers that are there as brethren, to tease people into that beautiful self-loving awareness, because spirituality is not about experiencing the oneness state. That fleeting, that comes and goes, right? That comes and goes. If we're lucky, we might have more extended periods of that, but it's actually quite fleeting in my experience. The state of spirituality is wrapping our arms around our mad mind and loving the fuck out of it. That relief. Because in that, suddenly my heart is wide open to every person. It's like, that's coming home. God is in the relief. And when we just take that fucking weight off our back, and we understand that all the dysfunctional behavior in the world comes from that pain, or that idea that we're separate and that we're not going to survive and it's not okay. And when we can sit down, placing our little personal self on our kind of ancient 14 billion year old lap, and just put our arms around those fragile parts of our perceptual mechanism and say, that's not you. You're way bigger than that. You're way wider than that. You're safe. Only fear dies, and just hold it in that loving state. It's spirituality comes in the moment of remembrance. The bliss states are fleeting, but that compassion for ourselves. We're given that opportunity to bring that love to ourselves by bringing it to every twat that we meet along our way. Unfortunately, in today's world, what a blessing that there are so many that will happen upon on an average walk.
And look, Deb has just put, maybe not denying ego, but not letting it dictate our behavior. Yeah. And then not letting it dictate. And this is why, maybe this is just the way my brain works, but I'm like, let's get really tangible about how this looks.
Mm-hmm.
Conceptually, what we're talking about is denying ego. It's everything that we're talking about is so true.
Is lovingly giving Hitler a blowjob.
How did you come up with that one?
It's practical.
I don't know if that's what I was going to think of, Tom. So,
you know the Jain sect, Jain sect of Hinduism. They prided themselves on being able to see and experience the divine in every experience. So they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it to do more and more fucked up and crazy things and to experience it. So we're talking about it. What I was famously told was they would find a half burned body, which has been, it's been in the funeral pyre, but the family wasn't wealthy enough to have enough wood to burn it completely. So it's a half charred, dead body, right? And they decide for their lunch, they're going to have the half charred, dead, rotten penis of the corpse. And their spiritual practice is to try and experience that as a taste of the divine.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that needs to be your lunch or your supper tonight, right? But what I'm saying is understand what they're trying to do with that idea, So for me, it's like it's what I call love at continuous sight.
Jesus. What the fuck?
I didn't come up with this. I'm just passing on what I've heard, right? So
can I just get I get exactly what you're saying. I really do. It's like I see the game or the pursuit in them to find. It sounds like existential kink. That's so good.
But you know what? This game is existential.
It's one way to get engagement, Tom. Just
I love saying we have to eat Jesus's cock or something. I'm not sure quite what she's going for there, but the whole game is for me. Life is getting into existential kink. I fucking love that. That might be my fucking new container.
I know that's who this at. Josh, that's a winner. Who said what? Annette's like, what the fuck? So I was thinking something a little bit. Look, I really do get the pursuit there of how we actually have complete 100% control over our experience. And we in pursuit of experiencing something divine in everything. It is possible. I get exactly what you're saying, right?
Well, it's either on or off, darling. This universe is either an interconnected, divinely ordained, synchronistic, interconnected web of consciousness. Now, I personally have had hundreds of experiences where I could say objectively, scientifically, have been able to see the interconnectedness of nature of consciousness. Arguably, you only need one, right? I imagine you have had many, right? Ultimately, you have to ask yourself this logical proposition, okay? It is unlikely. It is illogical for it to be a connected, loving, synchronistic field of singular consciousness at times and not at others. It either is or it isn't. True?
Yeah,
right. True. And I've had enough evidence to know that that's my experience reality. And whether it's delusional or not, I know if I choose to believe that, I'll be happier. So there's a double reason to do it, philosophically and logically. So for me, but if that's true, then there really is nothing outside of that. Everything is part of that onness. It's either on or off. It's on. If it's on, everything's part of that onness. Everything is part of that oneness. That's it. Game up, put your feet up, get your popcorn out, have a blast. It's existential kink. It's like give life a loving blowjob. It's just like lie back and allow life to go down on you gloriously. It's like, you know what? It's just, we shouldn't. It's like no one brings dualism to oral sex. It's like even if it's a bit clumsy, it's like you're just grateful. There are no good and bad blowjobs. It's just happy days. It's just life. It's like, who the fuck are we to be like, you're getting a blowjob, fuck you with your criticisms, you know? It's like, just lie back and enjoy it. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be a few rough moments. Someone might grab a little too hard or not hard enough. But it's like, really? It's like we're ultimately looking at gift horse in the mouth and going, I'm not sure. I think with my limited human perspective, I'm going to complain about this little detail. And it's like the universe is going, fuck you.
I agree, Christy. you are on fire today. Here I am. You've like gone next level with some of the things that I was going to talk about. And I absolutely get it. And I think also it's like, it's not actually ever going to be possible for me. And I'm curious what others think, that all of us are in that kind of blissful state together. 8 billion of us are at the same time. It's going to go in and out.
I'm not in that state every day. Right now, you can tell. I mean, I'm joking about this stuff, but I had a terrible day yesterday. It's like I'd have punched God in the fucking balls yesterday if I'd met him. You know, it's just like, you are kidding me with this shit. You know, enough. Right? I'm all about the fucking duality yesterday, and I'm on duality hangover right now. You know, it's
And don't you think
being embodied in what seems like a separate entity in a reality which we have no control over, and that constant understanding that whilst we forget, which we seem constantly, is a regular thing, that remembrance is like, a lot of the time that remembrance is a bliss, but also that the forgetting is painful. The forgetting is painful, but it is in that we have that deep compassion. Whilst we're joking a lot today, it is an exquisite excruciation. It is both exquisite and it is excruciating, the forgetting and the remembering, and the forgetting and the fact that to not be dictated by our fear, and to remember that those most lost, those most horrible are those that are most lost. And it's like, and sometimes that flows easy, and sometimes it fucking punches us in the face repeatedly, and it's, it's hard. It is hard. That's why we're all in it together, and we need, we need to be beyond places where we pretend to have it together, so we can all have it be together whilst we don't have it together. And that's where we all come home to heart. That's where we all get to kind of like laugh together and cry together and just go, fuck me, this fucking mad being here. But it is an incredible privilege and a blessing to be here journeying as this field of conscious, trying to work this stuff out. It's like, it is really, and we get caught up in the complaint, but it is a glory.
It is. And I love what you said, those that are the most horrible are the most lost. And, sometimes I think that our pursuit to make a difference, like even you and I, we both want to make a difference to people, right? The way that we do it. It's actually not to rid anyone of their humanity and their madness, but it's more to give more opportunity for people to actually go back and remember who they are for moments. I have mostly moments of remembering who I am. Hang on, I'll put it this way, and this is what I mean by practical. I wasn't particularly meaning of giving Hitler a blowjob, but I was more intending to talk about how practically what my month looks like is, let's just start with my moon cycle or period. I'm going to talk about periods just briefly. Is that around that time, everything seems really dire to me. I get very upset about the state of the world and how people treat each other. As a result, I get really agitated, and then I become a bit of a bitch. And that frustrates me, mostly because I don't like being a bitch. But I seem to be seeing bitch everywhere. But then at the same time, I have this absolute trust that it's going to, I'm just going to move through it. And then I move through it. And I fortunately have great people around me that so get it, and I can express that. And then I go from that into what is like coming up the wave. And so I'll lack energy for a few days, and then I go into what is, some really great experiences. At some point, I get to the high, and that's when I'm fully connected to everything. On the way up, I'm going ego, joking, piss someone off. Oh, I better clean that up. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I made a mistake here. Oh, I fucked that up. I did this. I did that. Like, I'm going all over the roundabout of life. At some point, I feel connected to everything, and then it seems to go back. It's like a cycle, in and out. And every day is dealing with different people who react very differently, who tell me whether some of that is okay or not. When I'm angry, some people think that's wrong and I should never be angry, and at times means I should never be spoken to again. And then at other times I come across these beautiful human beings that see me in my anger and just love me the way that I am. I choose those people as my friends. And then other times I get angry at people and I don't want to talk to people. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you ever again. And then maybe for a couple of weeks, I hold on to that. And then I come back to, it's not who I am. And then I might reach out and talk to them. And then sometimes I get busy and I lose contact with people for a long time while I'm confronted of the idea of ever doing anything about it. And then while I'm happy, I seem to create all these really great results. And everything seems great. And then sometimes I get so big on the ego of how much attention I'm getting online, and I feed it so much, and then I do something that's really egotistical, and I think, oh, I don't think that looked good. And I'm not sure how to recover from it, And it's like just this constant back and forth all around. It's like, this is what it is to be human. And in the middle of all that, the people I call my best friends are the people that seem to acknowledge that that's sort of kind of what everyone's experiencing.
Beautiful. Totally agree. It is in and out, off and on, and that just seems to be how we learn, the forgetting and the remembering, and it's beating down our dualistic judgments, right? So that we actually soften into the madness together. We wouldn't get that if we were born all perfect. We would be totally snooty, and we wouldn't understand the blessing of the relief of dropping all of that identity as being all sorted.
Yeah. And maybe that all our job is on earth is to allow everyone the opportunity of seeing that we're all the same. Anyone we come across. And maybe people that are stuck in anxiety and depression don't necessarily get that everyone's going through it.
Sally's saying the more we remember, the less we forget. It's beautiful.
Oh, I like that. Yes. Oh, and I'll read, this is from Mama Rose. Mama Rose says, it's an experiential perspective. It's all experiential perspective. None of us experience this reality in the same way. We each have individual experience, a unique perspective of everything in our reality. Nothing is fixed as black and white. There are many squillion shades of color in any given moment or at any given day, both within, external, and in ourselves, even within our own little ego verses like that. And weren't joking when they said life is a roller coaster. That seems to be perhaps the only Then I missed something. Might be over here.
Constant would be my guess.
Constant, yeah. Looks like it broke off. Oh, yeah. Shame dies when you share our stories. Absolutely. And what's this one? This is Rihanna. No, it's Jenny. Jenny. Hello, Jenny. Owning the not together with with awareness is more together than denying the strengthening separation. Instead, we can choose our heart openly in moments when possible to contribute to invoking unity. Allowing is such a beautiful word. Where the light comes, darkness shines.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful. Well, I must say, this has been one of the most eventful evolution solutions. That we have done. And I really honour you so much, Tom, for speaking so freely, so authentically, and expressing your raw. Because what you're thinking is actually what other people feel, maybe don't know how to articulate. And there's so much truth in what you're saying. And it's just so nice to see, someone that is so embedded in spiritual practice and could be someone that demonstrates leadership in the spiritual community and seen as such, not have to be or appear better than someone or something, and actually just acknowledges that you're just mad like everyone else. You're making your way through this journey of life on this roller coaster, trying to work it out, and you have moments of bliss. In the meantime, you're creating bliss in every moment just by acknowledging how not blissful it is.
Thank you. Well, that's why I love talking with you, because I feel you bring that really, really beautiful mix of like trying really hard to be good and remembering there's nowhere to go, and also recognizing that we're all fallible and flawed, and it's your relationship to how you try and make, minimize the impact that your dysfunctions may have, and how you clean those up, and how you're really excited and curious about the conversation. For me, that's the key. And and if we can just bring that to everyone else, it's like, I'm aware I've got stuff. I am deluded by definition. I'm doing my best here. And if I'm blind, then show me the mirror, and I'll lovingly show yours. And don't need me to be different, just love me enough to help me see the way, and with your grace.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sally Love. And Mama Rose says, I don't know how I ended up here watching this live, however it happened, and I'm glad I did.
Thank you. Thank you for all your comments.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Jenny, Mama Rose. Who else have we got? Sally Love, Andrea, Helen.
Christy, Heather.
Chris, yes.
The UK
Deb.
Lot. Helen.
The UK lot. Love you too. Yeah. Thanks for yes, thank you. And just for everyone as well, these episodes are getting turned into a podcast that will be released shortly. We're just waiting on that to go ahead. So our best episodes are going to go to the world, particularly this one almost needs to be number one. Those are the best. Yes.
We will see. I suspect the one about sex will probably be our most popular one, I suspect.
That one about that definitely got, I have like 60 people live at the same time. That one about being what was it, polyamory? Oh yeah, that went wild.
Yeah, big topic. Cool. Excellent.
Yes. Until next time, everyone, thank you again for tuning in. Daniel, hello Daniel. I didn't know you were watching. Lovely to see you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, until next week, big love to you all, and have fun being a mad person. Until next time. Okay.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.